with not one,
yes.
not two, not three, but 4 pairs of diamond stud simulated earrings, and they are perfection. You have from day to night to anywhere in between. They are gonna range anywhere from the smallest, which is still really beautiful, coming in at 5 millimeters, 6 millimeters, 7 millimeters, and 8 millimeters. Now we kind of guesstimated because we don't have, it's a total carat weight of 9.8 carats total between all 4 pairs, but we were thinking maybe about a half a carat in each ear, so that'd be 1 carat, about 1 carat in each ear, 1.5, and then 2 in each ear. So this is a stunning set, but let's talk about not only the quality craftsmanship and the precision cutting of our diamond absolutes, but on this set in particular at $29.95 for all 4 pairs in a noble precious metal of sterling silver. How do we do it?
How do we do it? You know, what's most difficult to believe for me is the amount of labor that's involved in actually cutting one of these stones. You know, we talk about cutting, we talk about faceting, we talk about polishing. I wish we had a video to show you, and I'm gonna work on it. By April, we're going to have a video to show you.
Right.
But in this graphic, you can see that the first thing, you start out with the rough, and it's just a block of crystal is what it is. First step, we saw the crystal. Then we preform it so that it gets sort of round. Then we cut the crown, and we say cut the crown. It's actually done on a diamond wheel. By hand, someone has to hold this stone against the diamond wheel and grind it down and get the first facets. Then we polish it with a finer diamond. Then we do the pavilion on the bottom, and at the very end, we do the coulée, which, by the way, do you know what coulée means?
Yes, is that the point?
It is, but you know what it means?
No.
That's Latin for butt.
Oh.
It's the bottom of the diamond, the coulée. Yeah. Think about it, other words you've heard, you know, the coulis and the, yep. The coulée. So that's actually the last cut on it. We have 57, we're all laughing. You have 57 cuts on a brilliant cut.
Somehow we went from diamonds to butts.
To coulée.
To coulée.
Hey, it's 2 o'clock in the morning, come on. Why not? You're making me laugh.
Oh my goodness.
The point is,
I know you have a point, right?
The amount of workmanship that goes into crafting just one of these stones is exactly the same that goes into doing it with mined diamond. There is no difference in the process.
There isn't, and that is that precision, meticulous attention to detail that you get in this master craftsmanship that really lends itself to look like that D flawless diamond. And when you look at the scintillation, you look at the clarity, the cut, the dispersion of light.
Well, and let's talk about scintillation and dispersion of light, because in the cubic zirconia, particularly in our world-class absolute cubic zirconia, the scintillation is greater than a D-flawless diamond. You actually get more play of light than you get in the most perfect of mined stones. Now, originally, diamonds were prized and valued when they were first discovered because of the scintillation. No other gem on earth took light and made it play the way a diamond did, and that's what created the value. Today, diamonds are valued because they're expensive. Right. Oh, it's a diamond, oh, it's expensive. Frankly, the scintillation in an absolute stone is greater. There's more radiance, there's more play of light than in a mined stone. Well, in my mind, that makes it even better.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and that's true because diamonds are forever. Diamonds are this rare, beautiful stone that for centuries, whether it's on the most special moments of our life, that we have a diamond for. But the beautiful thing about absolute is they're worry-free.
Absolutely.
That you don't have to worry. I was telling Paul a funny story about me and my absolute earrings. And I said to Paul, I have probably purchased over my 20 years of being here at HSN over 10 pairs of the diamond simulated studs from our absolute collection. And I said, I know that seems ridiculous and crazy and off the charts, but I said, I have a tendency to go on vacation and leave a pair in the hotel.
Normal. Or
leave them on a nightstand.
Normal.
And I said, instead of having that heart-dropping moment of realizing I left a beautiful real pair of diamond earrings, nobody knows the difference. These are some of the finest diamond simulants in the world, and they're exclusive here at HSN, and they mimic the beauty of a flawless D diamond, but they actually have a higher dispersion of light. So they are worry-free. You don't have to worry about them, and they're absolutely beautiful. You get all 4 pairs today for $29.95.
Now, you didn't mention there are over 27 perfect customer reviews. These These are a customer pick. So when your friends and neighbors tell you these are great, that's easy. So if you don't have these yet, these are the earrings that go to the top of the jewelry box. They go to the place where the good stuff is.
I say you sleep in them. I sleep in
they're
mine.
so comfortable, and because they're sterling silver with rhodium plating over the top, which, by the way, rhodium is over $2,000 an ounce now. Member of the platinum family. Everything about these is luxury, luxury, luxury. Do you know if you had these mounted in white gold, they would still be rhodium plated to maintain the color?
Right.
So everything about them, take them off, hand them to your friend, hand them to a jeweler. They will not know that these are not mined diamonds.
They won't.
Unless they test them. That's the only way you can tell.
Yeah, you can't tell. I mean, it really is
It's just that they're so
remarkable.
fabulous. You're like, how did you afford these?
And I want to share with you, that's $7.49 a pair. You can't even get costume jewelry for that price. I mean, $7.49 a pair, and you're getting all 4 on 3 flexible payments of $9.98.